We are live on YouTube. What?
I'm kind
Check
of
us
I'm a
out.
bit blown away by that intro. To be fair, I had not seen that.
Well, if you are familiar with Into the Otakuverse, or even Otaku Podcast, as it's better known as, you will have seen our little intro before. Anyways, what am I doing? I am waffling. Welcome, one and all, to Otaku Podcast. I am your host, Senpai Zane, aka Zane. I'm a little sleepy, I'm sorry, but I am joined by my fantastic co-host, Mr. Susu Day. How are you, good sir?
You know, it's Wednesday, which means tomorrow is Thursday.
It is definitely hump day.
Feeling it, man. Feeling it.
Tell me about it. But we are here for you today to give you some of the top anticipated summer animes of 2021. So stick around for our recommendations because you're going to love them.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
I am feeling the heat today as well, my friend. Like, it is humid.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. It looks like it shouldn't be hot, but it is. It's very hot, and not in the good kind of way.
Oh man, not in the good kind of way either. Before we do jump into the list, have you seen some of the stuff that Mappa announced over the last couple of days?
I have, and you know what? The moment you mentioned that, I completely forgot the name of one of them. But but I recently started reading the manga of the other. So
oh, what did you start reading? Is it
Chainsaw Man?
Yes, yes.
So really feeling that, and I mean, based on what I've read so far, because I'm only not a huge amount into it. But based on what I've seen of the trailer,
yeah,
it's got that same crisp animation that Jujutsu Kaisen has, and that's very exciting.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, Chainsaw Man looked fantastic. Obviously, they released some visual artwork for Attack on Titan as well, which looked really cool. So yeah, a lot of good stuff came out of that presentation.
Absolutely, it's gonna be a good old time when it comes out. That's for sure.
So which list are we going to use? We've got several sources to choose from.
I mean, I think let's just start with the shorter, which I imagine would be Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can do a little magic and pop that on screen. You wait for this.
I'm honestly blown away by the production value of the show. As someone who has never watched an episode of the Otaku podcast.
Well, how could you? You're always on it.
Yeah, so I watched one episode and I spent the whole time being aggressive and spamming the chat with inappropriate comments. So I got banned, which is why I co-host the show now.
What an upgrade.
Well, you know.
Look at this. So this is some of the lineups that will be available on Crunchyroll.
Woo!
Now, was there any top titles that jumped out of you straight away?
Oh, Fena, Pirate Princess. Oh, like in some.
Yeah.
I heard it described as what did they describe it as? It's a mixture of something and something, but I can't remember what the first thing was.
As after an orphan escapes to the high seas, she takes her place as captain of a pirate crew for a swashbuckling adventure. Production by IG. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
It's like One Piece mixed with something else.
Phoebe Blue? Or
I don't know now. I'm very disappointed in myself. It's very unprofessional. really, really not done myself any favors, and it'll come to me. It'll come to me as soon as I don't need the information anymore.
Exactly. Halfway through this podcast, no doubt.
Absolutely.
We'll be getting some more Dragon Maid. I know that there's a big following for that, so that'd be cool. And the animation and stuff has always looked clean to me. I've watched 1 or 2 episodes, but not. I couldn't say I've binged the whole thing. So
and every time it comes up on the For You page of any social media, and it shows a clip of it, the clips are always crisp and they just look hilarious, like the things that people cut together. I'm all about that, but it's another one of those stories which I don't have the same interest in, unfortunately, which is a shame, because I don't have time to invest in animes that I'm not interested in.
That's fair. But we're here to kind of choose our top suggestions, which I think will be worthwhile to indulge. Shall we
say?
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of that time I got reincarnated as a slime. It is a isekai trope fest, shall we say? But
does that make it bad?
I mean, here we go. It's kind of like if you go to McDonald's, you go to McDonald's because you want a McDonald's. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like if you're gonna jump in, you're gonna jump in both feet. And if you want a little isekai, you may as well go for the top of the shelf, which, in my opinion, is that time I got reincarnated as a slime. So
it is very, very good.
Yeah, it's very good. It plays the tropes, but it plays them so well. Season 2, I believe this is part 2 of season 2, because I believe they split into 2 parts, and there was like some sort of OVAs or mini series in between. Diaries.
As is becoming more common now. So got to split it. Give the development team the time to actually do it.
Give the animation team a time, yeah, because God knows they need it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that. Love that little tropey anime.
No, isekais have really hit the stage in a big way. So
yeah, well, I'd say if anything, they're becoming less popular because there was such an oversaturation of them in the last couple of years. I know
but that is why some of the ones that are coming out soon are looked forward to, because they're stories that have managed to hold up really well in manga form.
Yeah.
So gotta love it. Love to see it.
Anything else you're loving to see?
Obviously, they're going to continue with My Hero, but
yes,
nothing more on the Crunchyroll list, unfortunately, because well. In fact, scroll up a second. Let me just scroll back up a second.
Yeah. More?
No, it was exactly as I thought it was. It wasn't what I thought. Well, it wasn't what I thought it was. So
no. I'm just going to
ignore me.
I'm just going to highlight these 2 whilst we've got them on screen. Your Eternity and Tokyo Revengers. I've heard great things about Tokyo Revengers manga. I did read the first 1 or 2 chapters. It wasn't what I was expecting, but I've heard good things about this. So I'm going to say I'm going to stick with my sources and say this might be one to watch.
It's an interesting premise for a story about time travel.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly thought it was like, when I first saw it, I thought it would be like about gangs and stuff. I had no idea it was about time travel. That first chapter, I was like, what? Time travel?
You're not wrong about it being about gangs. It's just not in the way that you expect it to be. So
exactly that. Your Eternity as well. Again, some crisp animation there. Again, something I've watched a handful of episodes on.
Great story.
Yeah. I'd say it's a bit of a tearjerker as well.
Yeah, it's a very intense story. I think I described it in an earlier episode. That it's very much the tale of something learning what it means to really be alive.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it does that through telling 100 different stories as opposed to just a single story, which is lovely.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's definitely one to watch. Where are we jumping over to next?
Well, we know the old classico. Get over to the anime list.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
here
Obviously
we
going to see
go.
a lot of stuff that we've already seen, but
Yeah. Any titles that jumping out to you?
there is one which is Suki ga Michibiku Isekai, another Isekai. Um, the reason that I'm interested in this one, it's something that I actually started reading a while back. I didn't keep up with it, but it was a really interesting premise.
Mhm.
It's another isekai story of a high school kid who gets summoned to another world, and he basically he's not as exceptional as you'd expect him to be,
Okay.
and he dies a lot.
Okay.
So it's one of those stories. Unless they've completely rewritten it, or unless I'm completely incorrect, but I believe that is what I'm thinking of. I'm scrolling down the list just in case, because it's one of those situations where at this size, I could be wrong. It could be a different picture I'm looking at right now, but I'm pretty sure that is
Yeah.
the anime adaptation of "I Stand on the Body," the body of 1,000 lives, or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
I'm gonna Google it elsewhere just to make sure. But
As you are Googling, one thing that really surprised me is that there is a Scarlet Nexus uh, anime adaptation. Now, at the moment, I don't think there's any confirmation on how many episodes there'll be. So I don't know if this is just an OVA or something of that caliber. But the fact that there's an anime to launch inside with the video game is kind of exciting.
yeah, no, I mean the video. I haven't even played the demo, mate. But the what I have seen of it looks
Mhm.
absolutely fantastic. Like when I see a game which is so heavily leaning into that kind of anime style stuff,
Yeah.
when you see such crisp animation,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
and I've heard kind of mixed things about it, but I think that if you go, it's another one of those stories that if you go into it setting your expectations right, then it's
Yeah.
gonna ultimately be a better experience for you. Like, don't go into it thinking it's gonna be the most amazing game you've ever played in your life. Because,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, I could be wrong. I've not actually played it myself, so. And
Yeah.
I have to just double back on myself now because I'm completely wrong. That anime is not the anime I thought it was.
Oh. Oh
That is
no.
that anime is coming out. It's just not
Yeah.
listed there.
Oh. Interesting.
Okay.
So the anime that you recommended, what was that called? And when's
It's
that
called
due
it's
to come
called
out?
it's called I'm Standing on a Million Lives. It's coming out on
Right.
Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
And what day? I believe it is one of the TBAs on the
Okay.
Crunchyroll website at the moment.
Mm,
Yes,
interesting.
there is a trailer. It's a very
Yeah.
interesting story. If you have a look into it, you'll see what I mean.
Mm, interesting indeed.
So I apologize for the misinformation. Fake news.
Fake news. This podcast was not built on fake news whatsoever.
Was it not?
No,
How did you get all
no.
that money then?
um, yeah, so I'll be excited to see what this anime's like. We've seen anime adaptations of video games before. Obviously, the Persona series recently having one. God Eater. I remember the clips. Was it a YouTube sort of I don't know. It was a long time ago, but I remember God Eater having like a mini OVA anime series as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm. So that was a lot of fun. So that's something exciting to look forward to. Whilst we are here, do you have another recommendation?
Well, this is one that you keep bringing up in our private chats with another friend, but you didn't. You seem to have glanced right over Remain.
I was gonna save that one, but whilst we're here, let's 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 talk about it. So again, this is something that we've mentioned before on the podcast. Remain. This is a pedigree. It's fair to say. I believe these are from some of the makers behind Swim. Free, the
Yeah,
Swim in anime.
swim.
Obviously, Studio Mappa, and I believe there was another partnership. I don't want to say it's Hayaku. I think it was somewhere else, but the story centers around a boy who quit playing water polo after an incident during the winter of his third year in junior high school. After entering the high school, he makes a promise and decides to try water polo again and join the school's team with his friends. However, the new team will run into problems along the way. 12 episode series. This is going to launch on July 4th. Very highly anticipated.
Ready to go.
Yes.
Tumblr ready to blow up.
So if you do love your sports anime, and I know there's a lot of people who do, please, please, please check this out. Do not miss out on what I am really anticipating to be possibly the hottest anime of the summer. I've said it.
Are you saying it's going to be the hottest anime, or are you saying it's going to be the hottest anime? I mean, Tumblr is going to keep quiet.
I think this is going to blow up on all socials: Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I'm expecting to see everyone to use what's it called? Not Cut Pro. That new app that lets you make little AMVs. Final Cut? No, not Final Cut Pro. That's on the Mac. But
yeah.
Either way, I'm expecting this to be everywhere, especially TikTok.
No, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. You know, we got a free movie coming out in a couple of months as well.
Oh yeah! Wow.
I mean, don't know if we're talking about movies as well, but we got some movies coming out. But I do have another anime recommendation.
Oh yeah.
It's not on that list, I don't think. It is the Case Study of Vanitas.
Ooh.
And all I will say is vampire steampunk.
Okay.
And it's basically a dark fantasy. It's set in a world where vampires are fairly commonplace. And it follows the main character, who is a doctor for vampires. Is what he calls himself, but there's more to it than that. There's a lot of intrigue in it. There it is,
There it is.
Vanitas no Cut.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a very good manga. In fact, I don't think it's been updated in a long time, which is a shame. But I could be wrong. Maybe the app I'm using just hasn't updated. But it's going to be broken into a couple of things. So
I can see that's the studio behind it is Bones, who have definitely been doing the Lord's work recently. So that's going to be some cool animation, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since I've seen like a good sort of supernatural shonen Fantasy. Wow, no, that's a
It's
lie. That is
it's very.
Jujutsu Kaisen, you idiot. What am I talking about?
But yeah, it's a very interesting story. There's a lot of twists and turns you don't expect. I think that the way that I would describe it, and I
Hmm.
can't remember. There's another anime slash manga that I would compare it to in a lot of ways thematically,
Okay.
which I can't remember the name of now. so
Of course.
I'll find that out now. Um,
No problem. One whilst we're here, one other anime I just wanted to shed some light on was I might butcher this name, Sizori Suna no Aquatope. Um, this sounded really nice. It's based around an aquarium um, outside of Tokyo, from the sounds of it. So the story goes: an 18-year-old high school girl working in an aquarium meets Funuka, a former idol who lost her place in Tokyo and escapes. Funuka will spend her days in the aquarium with her own thoughts in mind. However, the crisis of closing is approaching for the aquarium. As the girls explore their dreams and reality, loneliness and friends, bonds and conflicts. So, of course, this is a slice of life, but if you want to take a break from the big shonens and things of that nature, then I think this is going to be a nice little palate cleanser or just something a little bit slower because we have been treated to some slice of life animes in the past over summer that have been really nice. So I think this might be a nice one. It's
I
done
do
by
enjoy one.
studios.
So
Yeah, exactly. Studio behind this is PA Works. Yeah, I think this might be a real cute, really cool little anime to watch.
I will look forward to it, my friends, because
Mhm.
sounds a good one. And the anime I was thinking, or the story I was thinking of, was Pandora Hearts.
Oh, I
I
believe I
would
saw
say,
that somewhere.
I would say it's all way old. Like it's way.
Yeah.
No, it's not way old, but it's a few years back now. But I think
Mm,
that thematically, Benatis kind of is very similar. But that's my own interpretation of it, based on
yeah.
my reading of it. So next.
Next list.
Oh, I've got another suggestion, which might be on
Oh
this
yeah,
list here, which is
yeah, yeah.
Sunny Boy,
Sunny Boy. Yes, I did see that over
Madhouse,
here.
and it looks like a very interesting premise. You know, high school students who get transported to another dimension. It doesn't appear in Isekai, which is why I think I'm interested in it.
Hmm.
It's just they've been transported into an alternate universe where they have developed supernatural abilities, and they need to use them to survive.
Ooh.
So I think that could be pretty interesting, depending on how it's done. Because it, I'm a big. I obviously like the stories where people have got powers and it's all
Hmm.
phenomenal, and people are like raising buildings and like flying and stuff like that. But I also like those stories where the superpowers are very, very specific or very.
Yeah,
They could be considered weak
yeah.
unless used in very clever ways. I like stories like that as well.
Like Shield Hero.
Like Shield Hero, yeah. Like I mean, you've in a lot of ways, if you think about just like some of the way in a less phenomenal way than My Hero does it.
Mm.
Because if you think about it, most people in that world have a quirk, and
Yeah,
not everyone's quirk is like super strength or something. Some people's quirk is like I can spray a little jet of water out my finger, or I can
yeah,
I can manipulate this very specific one thing.
yeah.
But people can become heroes regardless. They can become strong using this like crazy power. It's like how in Misfits, the Channel 4 show, like there was that like they've got very specific powers, and there was the villain of like season 2 was basically someone who could control milk.
Yes, yes, I do remember that one.
And like he was like crazy powerful regardless of the fact that he had such a ridiculous power.
Yeah, yeah. There was something odd about how yeah, when he had a tantrum, it just kind of leveled up, didn't it? Because people would eat cheese and he'd be
Yeah,
able to manipulate the cheese inside them and stuff, which was,
yeah.
yeah.
It was like so things like that can be really interesting. So I'm really hoping that this Sunny Boy will be a really interesting story.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I mean,
it
it's
looks
already
cool
aired
already.
from the looks of it. It's already had its Japanese debut. Um,
Mm.
it's on I think it's on Funimation at the moment, so I might have to actually jump on that tonight.
Yeah, licensors, Funimation, uh, Madhouse like to do slightly darker tales as well, don't they? So especially
Absolutely.
from the background of that, that looks like a sort of deep, dark. But the school rating's been great, 7.74 already. So it might be a great one to watch. Beautiful. So we'll jump over to CBR.com
CBR.
to see some of the hottest animes they recommend. Some of these, again, we may have crossovers.
Now you see that honor student at a magic high school.
Mhm.
See, I remember the manga of the irregular at Magic High School.
Really?
Yes, because I really enjoyed the manga, but the
Mm.
manga ended very abruptly. You know when it seems like a story. You know when it seems like a story gets dropped by a publication.
Yeah.
That's how it felt. So
Right.
I would be very interested to see what they do with this series because it obviously follows the protagonist of the other series' sister.
Hmm.
And I'm also very interested because obviously, to me, in with the way that the manga ended, it
Yeah.
felt like it got dropped because it wasn't popular, but yet it's had an anime,
Um,
and it seems to be getting like kind of a spin-off
yeah.
anime as well. So I'd be I'd be very. This is one I'm probably going to tune into because I'm interested to see
Where they go with it.
what they do with it because it was obviously popular enough that
Hmm.
they made another one. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It must have done well to create a spin off. As we know, and I think we've mentioned on previous episodes, when it comes to actual manga sales, it's a real hard,
Hmm.
you know, a real harsh environment because
Cutthroat, isn't it?
it's very much down to the numbers. So yeah, sadly, that wouldn't surprise me if it was dropped for those particular reasons.
And you can learn all that and more in Shonen's popular manga, Hitman, which is all about anime publications.
Mm.
So this how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom also has a very interesting premise, even though it is another isekai.
Yeah, yeah. I glanced over this earlier because it seems like it was based off a light novel series to opposed
And
to an actual. Yeah, I was just going to say it looks like it was based off a light novel series. So which I guess this might be stereotyping to a degree, but tend to be a little bit more in depth compared to the manga counterparts.
I mean, yeah, you can say so. We've obviously had stories like Sword Art Online, which
Mhm.
was hugely popular.
Yeah,
Even if it's not everyone's cup of tea, I know that a lot of people think it's been too popularized, and as a
yeah,
result, are obliged to not like it. Um,
yeah, yeah.
but I read the light novels as well, and the light novels were really very very good. So I thought it was a very
Mm,
true adaptation. But this seems very interesting because it's an isekai, but it's another one of those stories where the main character isn't pursuing the typical path,
yes.
and this guy ends up like becoming the king and making the kingdom better.
Yeah,
like
as king, he starts making radical reforms to improve the standard of living in his kingdom, and along the way, he gets into wars with other kingdoms. The Isekai anime series is set to air on July 3rd in Japan. Simulcast by Funimation. So
Get on
yeah,
it.
I suppose this is like similar to any sort of gacha mobile game you may have played recently.
Well,
Maybe I'm just talking from experience, but
yeah, no, hey, you love those gacha games.
yeah, they catch me good.
Ha!
Yeah, got him.
Got it. There it is.
There it is. I Stand on a Million Lives, season 2.
Yeah, so I'm well behind apparently. See, I don't know how I completely missed it. I like I said, I quite enjoyed what I did read of the manga.
Mhm.
So I don't know how I missed the fact that it had already been animated, which could actually be because everyone goes through those times where they just don't watch a ton of anime.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it
absolutely.
must have caught me in one of those times because I did go for a period where I watched no anime at all, and it was a very sad time.
Yes. Yeah, it's sometimes you have to, what's the word? Become not hermit, but like
The bad guy.
you, not the bad guy. I'm trying to think. When a prince leaves the kingdom to kind of expand his knowledge or something.
Yes,
I'm coming up
correct.
with a weird metaphor, but we were princes who had to leave their anime kingdom for a time, but now we're back,
Now we're back and we're trying to recommend animes.
wiser than ever.
We are the most wise, and our opinion should matter to everyone.
Absolutely, we've tasted the world and everything it has to offer, and we're here to part our knowledge. Stand on a Million Lines will be available on Crunchyroll. So similar to what you mentioned earlier.
Yes, that information was correct.
I've seen this pop up a few places. The Great Jehiti will not be defeated, I should say. A cute comedy series. JC was once the aide of a demon king, second in command of the Dark Realm, until she ran into a magical girl who literally destroyed the mana crystal that protected them all. As a result, the Dark Realm falls, and JT ends up being transported into the human realm with no powers.
That seems hugely irresponsible of that magical girl. So,
Reverse isekai.
reverse isekai. Wow, yeah, exactly. They got us.
Wow, they gotcha us.
Oh no.
Oh no. But hey, I've seen this advertised in a few places, so it must have like a good sort of budget behind it, considering how much it's being pushed at the moment.
Well, let's see.
Mm-hmm. Remain again, FYI.
Well, don't tell me. Wait just a damn second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at that guy in the back's hair.
Oh yeah, which one?
Not that guy. See,
This
there, that
guy.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
a little representation happening over there.
I know. It's just it's becoming more common, but it's still quite
Mm-hmm.
it's still quite interesting to see it when it does. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah, and nothing like a nice diverse cast. I guess there's a lot more sort of younger creators coming up who aren't scared to
Woke creators.
um, do, 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 do. Sunny Boy.
Magia record. So I imagine it's not my cup of tea, but it'll be hugely popular. It's obviously It's obviously linked very heavily to another very popular anime series. So
Yeah.
that will remain unnamed.
I can see here, given that Funimation and Crunchyroll picked up season 1, we will hope they will do the same for season 2. So, as you say, like the first one was so popular that it was available on both platforms. It's interesting.
Blasphemy.
Peach Boy Riverside is another one that I've seen pop up in a few places. Again,
I just read Vanquishes Demons and I'm on board.
Based on a manga series by Kuli, I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. The same creator behind Dragon Maid. The series is about a princess named Saltirani, who wishes Saltarine, thank you, who wishes to travel outside the city. She encounters a traveler who happens to be a Japanese folk hero. Joins him on his travels as they vanquish demons. The series is set to premiere on July 1st, also licensed by Crunchyroll.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I was sick in my mouth at the way that I said that name, because that is absolutely not the way that is said, and I don't know why.
No?
I just said no. It's a Japanese name. It's not. Saltarine sounds like a cracker a salty cracker that you buy at the shop. It would be something like salterine, no salterine, or something like that.
Mm.
If you
No,
think
I
about the
see.
way that Japanese is
Pronunciation and
pronounced, yeah.
such.
So, what the hell,
Yeah.
saltarine?
You just broke it down.
How
That's what.
how white did I sound when I did that? It sounded like I've gone on holiday to Japan and I'm like, I don't speak any Japanese. Can I have the saltarine on this menu here?
This one, please.
I'm gonna go and I don't know. I gotta go reflect on my life after this.
So fun fact about food in Japan. I think I told you this when I came, but after I'm going to brag a little bit here, humble brag. That when I went over there, but they make plastic versions of their dishes, so you could just point at what you want.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. They
How
also
kind of them.
I know, so thoughtful. Like if you don't speak the language or read, you can still point at a plate of a plastic model of ice cream or
Am I
chips.
obliged to grunt at it as I do it like point at my stomach? It's like
Yeah, it's an interesting experience because it's almost like they've been so thoughtful that they've had to dumb things down for you whilst you're there.
Wonderful.
Here's a toy model of
that's
a
big
dish
brain,
that you may like.
big brain energy. That is.
Yeah, definitely. I like that.
Absolutely.
Cool. Any more recommendations?
None that I can think of. Though I do remember the one thing that I forgot at the very start of the episode.
Ooh,
so
yeah, do tell.
The Pirate Princess has been described as a mixture of One Piece and Samurai Champloo.
Ooh.
Which should make a lot of sense because I believe that the studio, or it's either the studio or the writer, is responsible for Samurai Champloo.
Wow. Okay. That's
fact check me on that, but I believe they're the guys who did it.
I think I know what you mean because am I right in thinking this is the same chap who did Cowboy Bebop as well?
It very well maybe.
I've already lost it. What am I searching for? Pirate Princess. Let's use the full title. Is it?
You will never find it. There it is. Yeah. So
Staff, director.
come on, give us that hot information. I need to know if I'm right. I need to know if I need to start fact checking myself before every single episode. Come on. Oh my god, Final Fantasy Unlimited? What an accolade.
Wow. JoJo, the 1990 version.
I'm just going straight in to the Wikipedia. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out. Created by this guy. OVAs, video games, films, TV series. Da-da-da-da. No. Hmm. I
Producer,
wonder
maybe?
then. Maybe producer. Who knows? They did the person who created this story though did do the did direct the animation for the Breaking the Habit music video for Linkin Park.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
They were also a main director, director and main character design for episode 15.5 of Asura's Wrath.
Oh.
Yep, finding all sorts of new stuff out here. Character design on Final Fantasy Unlimited, which is widely debated as the greatest piece of animation in history.
I take it this is
There we go. Yeah,
for
TV
those.
series. Samurai Champloo. Character design, screenplay, storyboard, and chief animation director.
So for those who are listening to the podcast, I take it this is Kazuto Nakazawa.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm. He's also responsible for the anime sequence in Kill Bill Volume 1.
You know what? That doesn't surprise me considering the animation style and character designs.
So it's gonna be a good one. I would stay tuned in. I'd say of all the anime we discussed, Pirate Princess is gonna be the one that I'm most excited about.
That's a cool one.
I'm hoping, because this is how I felt. Like the way that I'm feeling about this anime is how I felt about Joran, the Princess of Snow and Blood.
Oh yeah,
which has just recently finished.
yes.
And while I did very much enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's one of those stories where if you miss even the smallest detail,
Yeah.
something will happen that just makes no sense to you. Like I think I must have missed maybe 10 minutes at some point, and from that point onwards, I wasn't really completely sure some of the motivations for some of the characters anymore. I'm also really not sure what happened in the end.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was great animation, great little story, great
Yeah.
setting. I think it was just like the story was very heavy and crammed into a short amount of episodes, I think.
Yeah. I know this is kind of a sidestep, but Terror in Residence, fantastic anime series. I've seen that on Netflix. I was blown away by this. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Another sort of hot release that's just come out here in the UK on Netflix is well, I say hot, is the Seven Deadly Sins new season. I would be skeptical
Speak
about
quiet.
this.
Speak carefully, my friends.
Yeah. As a recommendation, like, look, I guess the only people who will watch this are people who've watched Seven Deadly Sins up to this point. Yeah, the first couple of series have been fantastic animation wise, but the last two seasons were not so great. Obviously, it became a bit of a meme in terms of the quality. So
100% a meme.
Yeah, be skeptical on
The
that
meme.
one.
The meme. Watch out, kids, because you could get burned by a show like that. Which is a shame because the manga itself is great. There's there are some choices in there that have not aged well, but
Yes,
no, ultimately it's still very, very entertaining story.
without a doubt. Without a
Good
doubt.
versus evil, evil versus evil, good that might be evil versus good that might be evil is evil that might be good that might.
That might be good.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
There is a lot of stuff in there. So those are our top picks. Of course, thank you to those articles. We'll link those in the description down below. So that is for those who are listening. We've gone to My Anime List, Crunchyroll, and cbr.com for some of our recommendations. So again, links will be in the description down below. Any final words from you, Mr. Susude?
Chainsaw Man is a story about a man who is in love with his chainsaw.
Spoiler warning, I wasn't expecting his chainsaw to be a little dog.
Was a little dog. That dog is dead. And I'll leave you with that.
Oh, what a cliffhanger.
Now people are going to be tuning in just to find out how this man kills his dog with a chainsaw.
I don't know.
I'm just speaking the truth. Do you know who else spoke the truth?
Who else spoke the truth?
I'm not going to tell you his name because I'm not a religious man, but he spoke the truth. And no one liked what he had to say either.
That's why they wrote a book.
His name was Lucifer. And he was...
Wow.
I don't believe in God. It's fine.
Saying that, did you watch any of that Record of Ragnarok?
Not yet. It's on my list. Kind of in the same way that Castlevania was, and I didn't watch that for like 3 years. And kind of in the same way that Yasuke was, and I didn't watch that in a couple of months. So I will get around to it. I think the last time I watched something as soon as it came out, it was Blood of Zeus. So
got it. No, I understand that.
So I will check out Record of Ragnarok because you rated it quite highly. So, and I respect your opinions.
I would say the manga,
folks.
the manga is really cool. The anime it was a bit of a lackluster. It has some great moments, and you can feel where the budget was thrown at it. But
so what you're telling me is to go onto YouTube and to search for Record of Ragnarok best bits.
No, that's not what
Epic
I'm saying.
Moments in Record of Ragnarok.
All I'm saying,
if I type that onto TikTok, would I find what I wanted to see?
You'll probably see all the bad bits if you were to search for it on Twitter, or because some of the animation's been compared to Microsoft PowerPoint, because it's just cell, like no movement, just image, and then a little bit of animation.
Cool. I'm gonna offset that by giving a hot anime recommendation.
Okay.
Even though, you know what, I'm being really generous today. I'm gonna give a recommendation. I think it's on Netflix. It's on one of the streaming services at the moment.
Yeah, you'd be able to search for it.
You should all watch Samurai Flamenco.
Okay, yeah.
Everyone watch Samurai Flamenco. It's a slow starter, but it's a wild story in all the right ways. Watch Samurai Flamenco.
Okay. I think that is on Netflix.
I would recommend it. It's very, very fun. Doesn't take itself too seriously, and it plays on one of Japan's biggest tropes, which is the Sentai superhero thing. It's about a regular
Yeah.
guy who always dreams about being a superhero and saving the week. So he just starts being one and going out and fighting crime, even though he's terrible at it. And
Yeah.
then, as the story progresses, the threats get bigger, and things start changing for him as well in very weird and
Ooh.
interesting ways. So I would very much recommend it. It's very fun.
Okay. No, that's interesting. If we've happened to miss any of your top picks, then let us know in the comments down below. We'd be interested to see what you're going to be watching this summer of 2021. We're always looking for more recommendations. Hell, I may even put my anime list in the description. So if you want to see what I've watched in the past, or if you want to add some recommendations, let me know.
We should both do top tens. I'll do top tens and put them in the link.
What's scary is how much it calculates how much you've watched based on the series that you add into your list.
Oh yeah, you've done that. I have not. I might do that tonight. Actually, I'm interested. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
It's interesting, but it's spooky as well. Spooky.
I've watched a lot of anime in my time. So.
It's a big flex. You could be like, I've watched so many hours. I earned this title of senpai.
Well, we'll see. If I go onto it, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just derailing you. Ending the show.
Go for it.
If I go onto my anime list and I list out all my anime and I have a higher percentage of anime watched than you, do I get to take your senpai title? Do I get to be senpai Susude and you just have to be Zane?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm doing this.
I'm putting it on the line.
This is incentive enough for me to do it. Oh, my friends, this could either be the best thing you've ever done or the worst thing you've ever done.
I'm more scared about changing my handle on all my social networks than
maybe I'll have pity on you and I'll just let you keep
maybe
it.
we'll change
I'll make myself into king or something. Yeah,
King Senpai or something ridiculous. Greater Senpai.
I'll find what the next up is. Suki Dono or something like that.
Yeah, Gurren Senpai Susude.
I'll be Tengen Topper Gurren Susude.
Okay, cool.
Gauntlet's off. The gauntlet's been thrown now.
The gauntlet has been thrown. Check out our next episode to find out
that should be incentive enough.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe, like, and recommend this to all your other friends and colleagues who may enjoy anime and manga as much as we do. And we will soon find out who is the greater senpai, king senpai, all of the above. Oh my god, what have I done? Oh boy. We shall say goodnight and catch you on the next episode.
Finger guns.